Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday. This is the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. I am one half of your host and virtual bartender, Mr. Nick Teodoro. Joining me, as always, is my tag team partner in life, my wife, Mr. Nicole. Nicole, what are you having?
Oh, you know me, the usual Tito's, orange, cranberry juice. Mr. Nick, you need to tell us what you're drinking and our three things for the show.
I am drinking my J-Lore 7 Oaks Cabernet as usual. Well, 2 titles were retained on Raw. The Wyatts have seemingly targeted a new victim. And we have our AEW WrestleDream predictions. It's Friday, October 11th, 2024. This is the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. And welcome back, everybody. Again, happy Friday. If you're new here, we appreciate you joining us. Hit the old like and subscribe. If you're a regular, we love having you back. So it's been almost a full week since we've seen you. We were back here last Sunday recapping WWE Bad Blood, or Nicktoberfest, as we like to call it here. And now we're back. We have 2 shows in between, Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite. We're going to preview AEW WrestleDream. But first, we start off with the fun segment, Nikki's Non-Kayfabe News. And we're back.
Oh, the music makes me so happy. But so starting off with a shoot that turned into a work, brothers. Oh, AJ Styles, he had just come back, and they made such a big deal of him coming back. And so apparently, the first move that he did, he was supposed to sell the knee. So that was your worky work. And then the second move that he hit, and he super sold the knee. That was a shoot that they call brother. So it was he was supposed to pretend that he was injured and then legit got injured. So what they are saying is it's a mid-foot ligament sprain, and they're waiting for him to go get an MRI. And apparently this was supposed to be him going into maybe a program in that
mid-card.
The mid-card back with LA Knight. He had the match with Mello. I would think they would do something with him and Andrade. I'm hoping maybe he would do something with TNA now that they have that partnership. But he's supposed to be winding down his career. And then with this foot injury, there was him on crutches backstage. And you're just no, you just came back. And you're supposed to be winding down in this
It's like Adam Cole. You're always injured.
Worse than Adam Cole. But
so my thinking on this is there's been conflicting reports. Dave Meltzer said it's Pro Wrestling Observer said it's a legitimate injury. That's generally what people are believing. But it's interesting to me that they stopped the match. I just think
they didn't though.
Oh, well, I mean, checks on it. I don't know.
The match played out, and then you saw him backstage, and the trainer's room. So you were thinking it's a work because. Usually when someone's legit injured, they don't the camera was just on.
Why do I think he didn't finish the match?
No, the match finished. It's usually if they would cut the match or they wouldn't show him in pain or whatever if it's legit. So everyone he was supposed to get injured, but then he actually got injured. So I think the earlier week or the weekend early week report saying that was oh no, that's story. And then the week has gone on, and it's no, he actually has the ligament sprain. And they're waiting for him to get an MRI. I don't know, AJ Styles, you work for WWE, I don't know why you have to wait to get an MRI. But
it might be swelling goes down and stuff like that.
True. But I hope it's something, and again, I fractured my foot, that it was awful, and I was probably laid out from Labor Day to Thanksgiving. I don't know what a ligament, because that's bone versus ligament. It's very different, obviously. I don't know if this is something he can quickly kind of rehab or whatever and come back from. But I don't want to.
Usually with football players, it's a while, and sometimes it could be like 6 months or more. So you hope that it's not, a long sustainable injury for him, that he can come back from it and be, again, he could elevate a lot of people in any level, mid card or main event. So that would have been a nice, feud for him to help for the young guy Carmelo and LA Knight to have probably an established, main eventer working with him at that level. So yeah, you hope that he's able to get back quickly, and because he adds so much to this roster in a lot of ways. And the SmackDown mid card that you talked about is always so thin already. So come back soon, AJ.
I know. Thoughts and prayers to AJ and his titsins. Secondly, where I want to talk about Maria Kanellis. She obviously is contracted with AEW/ROH. I know she was a backstage kind of female voice for ROH. She has come out and said that her contract ends October 31st, and she's been trying to reach out to Tony for the last 2 months on her contract status, whether she's getting re-signed, is she getting let go. Apparently, she has not heard either way. She also had said on, I don't know, again, between Instagram and X, Twitter, one of the platforms, she also said they found a mass on her adrenal gland, and then she's going to have to get surgery done to remove the mass. But also in the same post, she was saying, basically, she still hasn't heard from Tony. She's done, I guess at this point, she's just taking it in her own hands. She's like, I'm done October 31st. I'm willing to do interviews about my departure and treatment in AEW, and then post-surgery 6 weeks, which would bring her to mid-December, that she's willing to do bookings.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Like when I met her, she was at Wrestle Show New Jersey back in April that we were at, and she was talking around, and it seemed like, again, like the whole creative has nothing for you. It just seemed like she was there doing appearances, like she was lost in the shuffle as a manager of LA, like the whole United Kingdom like gimmick. Like where was she? Could she have been a part of that? Like why didn't they include her in anything? It seems like, again, just another one of Tony's signings that are there. Yeah. And maybe, it was a package deal. Mike, I don't know, but he hasn't used her at all. And hopefully, yeah, she can. I think she's got, what she did in Ring of Honor with the Kingdom. She had a lot of staying power there, and as a heel. And I think she's grown a lot too. Like from what she was in WWE years ago, like that.
Her first Diva era run. Yeah.
With like Santino and all that stuff. Like, she completely changed her character to becoming like a mega heel valet. And it just, I thought she had a lot of potential when she came back to WWE, and they didn't really use it as much. Same thing with an AEW. It's just, it continues to go on. So I hope she's able to land somewhere. I just wonder, like what this means ultimately for, Mike Kanellis and Mike Bennett, Yeah.
But that's the thing, like okay. So first of all, like sending all the hopes and prayers and thoughts to Maria and her surgery to get healthy, get better. But second note, like she leaps and bounds, and she's incredible on the mic. That heel female manager, like how is she not on TV? And then like Mike has been on TV as like kind of the third wheel, or him and Taven the third wheel to at first Cole and now Roddy. But like, how do you not put her in there?
Yeah.
Like again, her and Mike Bennett, like.
Well, she could have helped them. Sorry to interrupt, but she could have helped them win matches. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like make them look at least decently strong.
I think it will go down the best ring entrance music that basically was never. But her and Mike's song, "The Greatest Love I've Ever Known," I love that song more than any person should.
For the 1 or the 3 weeks that it was aired,
but it was just like that is such a banger. And I don't know. I hope again, she's so fucking talented that she can go to back to WWE. She can go to TNA. She can go to like. For her to not, again, it's just like you said, another person on Tony's list in his toy box that was not used.
Yeah, she could. I mean, I hate to, like it's, but she could manage someone in NXT. She could manage someone in WWE, or TNA.
Girl can talk. She's beautiful. Like, how is she not on TV? Makes no sense to me. You can talk. You're pretty. But there's so many people that can talk, and are on TV every week.
Exactly. It also makes you wonder, like, because back then when she came in WWE because remember she was the 24/7 champion.
Oh yeah, that was,
and just like that whole thing, but like Vince was booking back then. Like I wonder if again different times Triple H is in charge. Like would her and Mike Bennett have had a different run? Possibly. I don't know. What do you all think? Do you think that Maria's gonna land on her feet, and where do you want to see her next?
She's gonna land on her feet. Just where she ends up.
Yeah, where would you want to see Maria? Like, would you want to see her go back to WWE? Would you want to see her go back to TNA? Obviously she's not going to AEW. Maybe on the Indies. Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear from all of you as you're chiming in. But yeah, it's really exciting to see any last thoughts on this particular.
Yeah, I was shuffling us along.
Fair enough.
Our third thing is really a retractment because of when Nikki's news, non-kayfabe news, first debuted, everyone was chomping at the bit. Like, Lucha Brothers signed to AEW, they're WWE, like they're going to SmackDown, blah, 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 blah. And Tony Khan pulling a Vince McMahon saying, nah, girl, you owe me money. You owe me injury time. Basically what he did to our poor late great Brody Lee. It was like, actually, you owe me 9 to 10 months. So I believe Penta is done at the end of either October or November. He's got like a month left. And then they're adding injury time to Phoenix, and he's there basically another 9 to 10 months. And if you already know that he's leaving, like you're not going to see Penta on TV or Phoenix on TV. So like it's the same how I felt with like Brody Lee. It's like you're not going to use him. You're literally just keeping him. Why?
Yeah,
like,
and I wonder.
It's shitty when Tony does it.
Yeah, no, it's bad for everybody. Bad for business for everybody. I wonder if Penta goes into NXT just solo for a little bit, and does something there, or builds himself up and gets into a feud where it's 2-on-1, and eventually Phoenix comes in. Now it'd be interesting to see.
Just 9 to 10 months is just so long. Just for you to be like, oh, I don't want you to go to WWE, I'm adding injury time. Like, I know it's like you contracted them to do a certain amount of time, but you're literally not going to put them on your TV.
Yeah.
Exactly what Vince did to Brody. I know, it's crappy.
Yeah, no, it's really bad to do that to talent, but I guess it's the competitive vibe in him. I don't know that he thinks that they're gonna grow in a year or whatever, and Penta's gonna become this huge star there. Which could, with the LWO and all that stuff going on, the storylines are going that direction. But we'll see. We'll see. What happens, how they use the Lucha Brothers for the remainder of this next 9 to 10 months. But I don't know. Let us know. Do you think it's kind of just a waste of time, or do you want to see Lucha Brothers kind of round out their AEW run with something significant? Maybe they'll have a couple more bangers. I'm sure they're great wrestlers. I'm sure they'll have good matches, but will they have some sort of memorable historic match on their way out? I don't know. But let us know in the comments below.
But I think that's it. Bye-bye.
So that is a wrap for Nikki's news. Let's wrap it up. Right at 6:15 Eastern on the dot, Nikki's news completes. Look at that.
Get it, girl.
So, Nikki, we are going into Monday Night Raw, where we saw 2 title defenses successfully defended. So, let's catch you up on Monday Night Raw's title defenses and some of the takeaways.
We got no fear, no doubt, all in, balls out. Oh, we're going off tonight to kick out every lie, take anything we want, take everything inside. We're going to the world, stop turning while we burn it to the ground tonight.
We get to our Monday Night Raw takeaways, where we open with the Intercontinental title match. Where the first match really was the Intercontinental title match, where main event Jey Uso is now curtain jerker, meaning Jay Uso for this particular Raw. But Jey Uso defends the Intercontinental title against Xavier Woods successfully. Nikki, your thoughts on the match overall? Any takeaways in particular?
I thought this match would go on a smidge longer. To me, again, now Raw. This is the first Raw that was 2 hours, so it was a easy breezy, beautiful cover girl to watch. So obviously there's some, changes, and I thought this match would be a little longer, but I feel like Woods got so much offense in, and then was working Healy at that point. Like early on the match, like him and Jay are outside, and he had Jay on his shoulders. He's like, "Oh, is this your boy? Is this your boy?" And I don't know if it wasn't the Death Valley Driver, but some throw off the thingy. So definitely healed it up. But then all of a sudden, I feel like Jay kind of went out of nowhere. Like, Woodsy's coming off the top rope, and he hits him with the super kick, and then splash 1, 2, 3. And again, I really do love the move, and I think Woods sold it great with the super kick off the top rope, kind of like your RKO.
Well, because he's got his finisher is that like tightrope elbow.
Yes.
So was he? Correct me if I'm wrong, because he was going for it in this move, or he was at least setting up for it, because he does a lot of springboard.
So yeah, he was coming off the see what how the photo is. I don't remember if he was coming off with the elbow.
But he was
or
up in the air when he
elbow.
did it. That's why I was so confused. I'm like,
Woods was 100% in the air, and he hit him with
standing up.
what?
Standing up, not Woods. Sorry, I meant not Woods. Uso was standing up.
Standing up, because at this point he got up very quickly. Like when he leaps off, he thinks that Jay is down, but Jay immediately stands up, super kick, and then there was a splash later, 1, 2, 3.
Right. So I guess stemming off this match, there's a couple things that have happened. Obviously, after the match, we'll get to that in a second. But how much longer until Xavier Woods turns on Kofi?
Because after the match, he did get upset, because after the match, Kofi came into the ring and like kind of bro shake hands huggy with Jay.
We're all friends.
And then like Woods got upset. Like afterwards and sort of backstage, it was like, he beat me, and you're like shaking his hand, like, what's going on? And Kofi's like, we're friends. We're all friends. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like we would all help each other out if people got beat up or whatever happens. I don't get why you wouldn't want to shake his hand. And he's just fed up. Woods is fed up. So how much? I mean, the 10-year New Day anniversary is coming soon.
Next month.
So I anticipate more little breadcrumbs with this turn as we go. But it's reaching a fever pitch at our boiling point at this.
I think that's the thing. You want that. I want them to like Kofi and Woodsy like completely kind of turn on each other and butt heads, and then Big E comes back and saves the day. But like, no, sort of like when Woods came out and got them all together when he was doing his like kind of brother love and what's his face from early day Nation of Domination. I can picture him. I can't remember his name, but the two of them had a baby, Xavier Woods. I don't remember that. I can picture his face of all the early like Nation of Domination. He was like kind of sort of looked like Dave Chappelle, but like had the glasses. Was trying to be Malcolm X, kind of like Xavier Woods did, but like him. Any whoosies.
Oh, Ed's chiming in. Clarence Mason.
Yes, Clarence.
There you go. There you go, Ed.
So it's like
Ed chiming in.
If Brother Love and Clarence Mason had a baby, it'd be early day Xavier Woods that was trying to put the New Day together. So I want them to kind of turn heel on each other, be bickering and fighting, and then Big E comes in and be like, no, like we're a family, like we're good. I don't know if Big E can ever get back into the ring. I hope he can, but again, health first and foremost. I want him. He's dating Mia Yim's sister, and their family photos together is the most magical thing. Google it if you have not. It's magical. But I think they're gonna briefly feud, briefly fight, and I'm hoping Big E comes back and brings the family back together.
Ed said Clarence Mason is the boss. It was his theme song. That's great. We'll have to find that. So you want to see? So the question is, does the New Day make up? You want to see the New Day make up?
Yeah, I think they need to feud, because that's what brothers do. That's what families do. Like, they fight, you argue, but at the end of the day, it's like, I got your back. Like, both of us would love to strangle our brothers to death. But at the end of the day, if someone like wanted to fight my brother, I would cut them. Like, it's like, I can fight with my brother. You can't fight with my brother. So it's just like, that's what families do. And I think Big E, well, I guess Kofi's technically the big brother, but maybe Big E being that middle brother brings everybody together.
Ed says, remember Odyssey Jones. He's been stricken from the record book. He's been stricken from the records.
No, let's talk about
We're
that.
not allowed. But yeah, so Nikki wants to see them make up. The other thing that happened at the end of this match, right? So after the match does end, Braun Breaker shows up. And apparently Braun's back to doing whatever the hell he wants. I don't know what he wants to do or where he wants to go, but Braun Breaker's back. And it just confuses me, I guess. How do you feel about Braun Breaker going after Jey Uso? After last week he teased Gunther a little bit.
Was it all just a ruse, a dream to lull you into this false, like, and it feels very Vince McMahon, and I hate to say that, and I hate to have that happen, but personally, I'd rather see Braun as a heel. Spear the crap out of everybody, please. I love that he hit Jay. I love that he hit Woods. I love that he speared everybody, get his belt back. I want that belt back on him. I don't know when that's going to happen. Probably not anytime soon.
So then it goes back to 2 weeks ago when Jay won the belt. Or was it? Yeah, but roughly like that. Or a month ago. I don't know. But when Jay won the belt, we questioned, like, why did they do it? Just because he has some momentum? They want to give him a win as a singles guy just before everything goes to hell? I don't know. Like, is he joining back up into this bloodline storyline for War Games? And is Braun just taking it back as like a transitional champion type deal where you give him one defense and then Braun? I don't know. Like, I don't love Braun going back to the mid-card after the Intercontinental title. After he was like, maybe I'll move on. Maybe I won't. The only reason I would like this is if you tell me, which you can't do it now because he's already lost. So it's a little bit different. You're going to give him a Goldberg-like run where he's going to be brawny 2 belts. And he's going to be Intercontinental champion and then go after the world title. And I could see him doing that. If you're going to build him up like that, fine. I think you were just kind of wasting time.
I think your operative word there, sweetheart, is Goldberg. Goldberg came back, and him and Gunther had some words, and that's going to be a thing, and that's going to make me real upset, but we'll get there in minutos. But I think plans have kind of changed, and I think they need to reinsert Braun back down into the IC thing. I personally don't want Jay in the bloodline stuff at this point. Again, like I said, like Roman was like, they took Jimmy, they took my Wiseman, my Ula fell up. Jay was not involved. Why would Jay go back? I could be wrong. They can book him tomorrow, or obviously 2 hours from now. But I think the Goldberg Gunther thing is going to happen.
Bill Goldberg.
Oh, shut your dirty whore mouth. I think that now if Goldberg is going to come back for a War match and like they already set it up with Gunther, then I think Braun has to take a back seat for a little bit. So
Braun, not Braun. 2 different. You have to make sure. You have to be real. Make real sure that you get the A.
I know. I yell at you. I'm sorry. Breaker. 619. But yeah, no, I think that's why. I think maybe I don't know. But I think this is the detour till they get the Goldberg crap out of their system. It's going to change a little bit.
Fair enough.
I'd rather have him heel anyway, but I don't know. Tell me.
I like him. Yeah, I like him just as a badass and just everyone likes because he kicks everyone's ass. But I don't know. We'll see. How do you like your Braun Breaker? Tell it. How do you like your Braun Breaker?
How do you like your Braun Breakers in the morning?
So moving along into what was the mid-card of the night, but a banger. Sheamus and Peter Dunne. Sorry.
Peter Dunne.
In the Donnybrook. I don't know if I spelt that right, but we're going to hope I did. Which is basically a street fight. An Irish street fight is kind of.
Yeah.
So Sheamus and Peter Dunne. Pete Dunne. Not Butch.
Not Butch.
Nikki, any takeaways from this?
I think it was a very fun match. I think he had some fun spots. I liked when they were in front of the side of the announce table, and they did the spots off the higher beer barrels. I don't love the outcome. I don't love Pete putting the Ziploc. Yeah, like that spot that you had was fun.
That was awesome.
And then was it the white noise afterwards?
Yes. So
yes, and then
so this spot in particular, he's giving him the beats of the bow drum. I think I said that right. And then he ultimately leads into a white noise off of which, and I wrote this. If this was a pay-per-view, this probably would have been my Big Nick energy moment because like onto the floor through 2 tables, like where they were. That move in general, white noise is a scary move to do in the ring. Let alone like anytime they do it outside of the ring or anywhere else, I get worried. Like was it Drew McIntyre at Hell in a Cell who did it onto the steps?
onto the steps, yeah.
And like like the same thing. It's such a crazy move, and it's really really neat. And the way that they hold him and everything. And this was just a great spot and just an absolute brawl. So ultimately, Sheamus wins, and the way he does win was pretty neat. I don't know.
Oh, pretty neat. I don't like so Pete zip ties his hands are behind his back. And then he somehow hits the brogue kick and then falls on him. 1, 2, 3. With his hands.
Yeah, and he's also able to during the match kick out or get his shoulder up.
Yeah, no,
yes.
you're right. So he again zip tie behind, kick out, brogue kick, pin.
Instead of like I don't know why you didn't just kick because you can kick out instead of using your shoulder, which makes it look worse. I don't know. It was a little bit of a rough couple of moments that may have been questionable, but I think ultimately it was kind of a really neat ending where his hands are behind his back. He's able to hit the brogue kick, which was really neat too because again the clap, like the knee slapping. I don't know how he did it with his hands behind his back. Yeah, I guess maybe he just slapped his hands, but that was pretty neat to see. Again, a nice, fun match on Raw to keep the party going for a 2-hour, as you'd like to say, a very fun Raw. So the last question here is, losing 2 out of 3, where does Pete Dunne go from here?
And that's what I don't like. Like, what are they doing, Peter doing? Like, I feel like with Triple H kind of at the helm and him being kind of like a Pete Dunne guy, like, I don't necessarily, like, he's like the bruiserweight. Like, I want him to be more and doing more things. Like, I want him in that. We saw that match, him and Gunther and NXT. Like, put him back in that. Like, I don't know. I'm not loving. Oh, Steven.
Pete Dunne. That's a good one.
I don't know. I want more for Pete, and I feel like he's not gonna get it. Again, there the backstage stuff that he's been booking the speed champion, like the men's speed champion stuff. So maybe this is like maybe a more player coach. Maybe he is just gonna go backstage.
Yeah, I could see that.
But he's so young.
I know it's such a sad thing because like I thought this could give him a nice heel push, and apparently after the match they interviewed, or at least later in the night they interviewed. I guess for the exclusive for WWE.com, Sheamus, and basically said, he's like, you're in my respect after this banger, like Butch is done. So I don't know. I want to see Pete Dunne do a little bit more. Maybe he can get into the Intercontinental title hunt.
Do you put him because he had those because again it was like the Pete Dunne on SmackDown or Brawl, and then there was the Pete Dunne on NXT when he was having that feud with Trick Willie. Like, are you going to put him back down with Trick Williams?
Maybe.
Now that he's champion. Again, there's next week, I think it was a fatal triple threat. Paige,
Paige, Trick Williams, and somebody else?
Oh, yeah, Wesley.
Yeah, I'm not a Wesley fan.
I know. But I don't know if you can put him back down in NXT. I don't know. He needs something. I really like him a lot, and I fell in love with him when. Honestly, my first exposure to him was the inaugural
Eggnog.
It's
not Christmas yet.
Of
Almost.
the UK championship. I remember I left work early. I told Dave I was sick and had to go home and watch wrestling. But that was kind of my first exposure to him, and just immediately he caught my attention. I don't know. I want more for him.
Yeah, no, we'll see. I guess let us know, where do you think in the comments below, where do you think Pete Dunne's going to go from here? Where do you want to see him? Are you fine with him where he's at? But as we move along to our Raw main event, where we did see, I think, Gunther retain and he finally gets the monkey off his back, retaining against Sami Zayn, so to speak. Nikki, what was your thoughts on this main event match from Raw?
Torn. I think it was, again, a good match, and I very, very much love Sami Zayn. I don't want to say worried, because worried's not the word, but maybe worried. I thought Sami was going to win. And there's very much certain points that he does his babyface comeback, and he, Gunther takes out a 99999, and it's just like, oh, and then like,
he had me believing. He had me believing for a lot of people. He is, and I think, he is the new, underdog, right? Is he the underdog?
Underdog from the underground.
He's the biggest underdog right now in WWE, I think. And which is interesting because when you think about it, you have guys like Dragon Lee, and obviously Mysterio's still there.
And how many belts he's had.
And he's still it's still Sami is the biggest underdog in WWE. So he has a lot of moments in this match where, again, he gets the sleeper, then he gets a powerbomb, kicks out at 1, which I thought. So the one thing I will say is that powerbomb is something like the one count false finish deal is really interesting to me, because I think it's an AEW thing that they're taking a little bit of the AEW influence that WWE wrestlers are now, with more creative freedom, I think, are doing to try and make the matches a little bit more interesting. Because again, it's powerbomb was his fit. He's put away a lot of people with the powerbomb. So after the whole match, to just kick out at 1 was really neat. And remember, Priest had the similar situation with Finn when Finn turned on him at was it SummerSlam? Mm-hmm. Yeah, SummerSlam. So where he kicked out, or he was a sleeper, and he came back and revived and came back to life. That momentum and swing and that underdog mentality. I like that. That I think they're taking some of that from the AEW wrestling.
Can I counter you on that?
You can.
I don't think it's necessarily an AEW thing. I think it's a Cody Rhodes thing, because he did that to AJ, and he's done that multiple times. And when he does that Hulk up thing that he magically kicks out at 1. I think it's more of a Cody and a Cody influence thing than necessarily AEW. But again, tell me I'm wrong down below. But I think that feels more like a Cody thing. And I feel like that he took so many people out with the powerbomb, and I'm worried. I worry. I love him. I love Gunther. But I don't feel like they're booking him as this monster champion.
Okay, so you kind of said I was going to ask first.
Sorry.
Kind of.
So yeah, so he chokes him out, and I love
it. Says everyone kicks out at 1 in AEW.
But I guess that's Gunther's new thing now. He's just going to choke people out, he choked Randy out, and then he choked Sami out. I guess that's his new thing, that he's just gonna put you on your back in a sleeper, and you're gonna go nice.
Yeah. And so I guess there's 2 things stemming from this match. So first, I get my question is really, what's next for Sami Zayn? Is he entering re-entering War Games, the Bloodline storyline? Is that what you anticipate? What do you all think? Where do you see Sami Zayn going after this? Do you see him in that Bloodline storyline, or do you see him still going off and maybe he's chasing Gunther or Mid-Card? I'm not sure. Do you legitimately believe that he's going back into War Games?
Well, that's the thing now, because I guess I assumed him going back into War Games, and I feel like Jay's his way into War Games, but I don't want Jay in War Games, so I could be talking both sides of my mouth here, but I assume.
Yeah, Ed agrees. He hopes he doesn't do Bloodline stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know, but could you take Sami off TV for a hot second? Have him come back at Mania. Not Mania.
Rumble.
Have him come surprise back at Royal Rumble. Maybe that is a long time from now till January for sure. That's 4 months. Or it's February now. I know. Steven was making fun of me. The difference between January 31st and February 1st. It's still real to me, damn it. It should be January.
Math is hard, damn
Math is hard.
So,
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to see him maybe just, again, stay in the mid-card. But again, I think Jimmy... Well, if Jay stays away from that storyline, then you can keep Sami away from it too. And maybe have them together, feud for the
I
belt.
just-
It would be a nice mid-card feud.
To be honest, I'd rather see Sammy in the War Game match than Cody. But I think this is the only way right now for Cody to get into his dad's match.
That's fair. So the other question stemming from this is who's Gunther's next challenger?
Goldberg. And I don't. So they're having the Saudi Arabia match. So we know November 2nd it's going to be Cody Gunther. I don't want to see that match. Like I think it'd be a good match, but I think that there's too many implications there. Like I don't want to see, and that's maybe necessarily that I didn't love about Survivor Series for so long. Like you're gonna make one of your champions look dumb.
No, just one of them is better.
Yeah, but to me, like between Cody Rhodes and Gunther, like Gunther should choke out Cody for sure. But that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
There could be some nefarious activity. It doesn't have to be clean, but you can still choke them out.
But that's the thing, because apparently the Saudi Arabia Sports Entertainment Governor body, whatever the fuck they're called, wanted them to have a belt. So this is what they're doing to appease the Saudi people to have this belt. But I'm sorry, one of them is going to look dumb.
So Ed says, well, Ed's got a couple comments. He said, he always got comments. Gunther is going to pack and smoke Cody.
As he should, but I feel like he's not going to.
But Ed feels that the next challenger is, in fact,
I think it's going to be Gunther Goldberg Survivor Series. And if Gunther loses, I might cancel all the wrestling things. I will cancel this podcast. Because
hell you will.
It ruined the fucking yeah, boo Bill Goldberg. Honestly, I want to see Gage versus Gunther. Have Gunther choke out Gage. I don't know. I don't love putting your champion versus champion because it's going to make someone look not great. And that's supposed to be your big champion of each brand. I know your belts are not on the line, but again, if Gunther chokes out Cody, then Cody doesn't look great. And if Cody shouldn't be beating Gunther, so I don't know where that leaves.
No, Gunther, I think, wins both. I think you give Gunther a win over Cody, and he's the ring down out.
You're not beating Cody Rhodes.
Yes, he is. Oh, we're going to argue about this on our picks in 2 weeks, and I'm going to win again.
I would love to be wrong about this, but you're not. Cody Rhodes is your face of your company. He's supposed to go whatever you want to hear about Rock or Roman or whatever, but boy's your face of your company. He's not losing to your big foreign menace heel.
Yes, he is, because it doesn't matter if it's a non-title match.
Is it? Okay.
It's a crown jewel title that it's the Continental for Ed. His Continental Crunch Wrap title is on the line in Saudi Arabia. You need to go out there and make it a triple threat so that it's official and defend your title.
Yeah, no, I agree with Stephen. Like what Stephen said, like it's not going to be a clean finish. If there's no way it can be clean.
Well, I agree. So I don't know. Will you let us know what you want to see? Who's the next challenger? So there's a lot going on. So we still have a lot to get to. So I'm gonna put a little bow on our Monday Night Raw portion of this segment. Oh wait, no, sorry. One last thing. I completely forgot. I put it in our headaways, our takeaways. So we saw real quickly.
Yeah, this is what I have notes on at the Donnybrook match. Jesus Mary. She just didn't even apply on.
My gosh, I forgot the order. So we
Girl.
do see the Wyatts potentially picking out their next target. So, Nikki, what is your thoughts about the backstage segment between The Miz and Karrion Kross?
So before this segment, there was a lot of, the Wyatt family, like the crinkle, like it kind of like your old, for us oldens, the VHS tape is doing this a little bit. And then when it pans to Miz and Karrion talking, like, of course, Karrion's like talking his shit. And then the Miz goes, there's no Miz in the Final Testament. I did that for me. And then the static hits and he says, there you are. So what I've said in our previous Wyatt videos, when Bo is talking and then he starts getting angry, Uncle Hattie goes, there you are. So I like this is Miz is getting mad at Karrion. And then Howdy goes, there you are. So I don't know if he's going after Miz because he turned on Truth, or he's going after Karen because Karen is trying to be this voice in everyone's head. Remember, a couple months back, he was going after Woodsy.
You know what I remember with this? Sean O'Hare. Do you remember the Sean O'Hare Devil's Advocate?
Yeah.
That's with Roddy Piper back in the day. Like, I remember that gimmick, and that's how I literally am envisioning Karrion Kross doing this whole, Devil's Advocate gimmick. Literally, like, very similar body type, like muscular dude, like, which, I mean, who wasn't, but like.
And then when Truth comes back Truth walks into the scene, and he starts, like, being our Truth. And then Karrion whispers to Miz, he's saying, don't let the truth weigh you down. And I also think that's another crux of the Wyatt family saying, like, exposing the truth, wanting to get to the truth, like, we'll show you the truth sort of deal. So it's kind of like that sort of double entendre thing.
Ed says, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, say.
Right. But also...
That was the Sean O'Hare line, right? Yeah.
But also, going back, Bo Dallas was part of the Miztourage.
Yeah.
That spawned the B team. There is this underlying history between Bo, Uncle Howdy, and Miz. So, it makes sense for the Wyatt family to go after Miz because he turned on R-Truth. But, like, the whole family going... We already had Fiend versus Miz. We already had Abby showing up at the house. Like, but do they actually go after the Final Testament because Karrion Kross is being the devil on the shoulder, the advocate, and talking in the background?
Well, the thing about this is too, like, the numbers game, right? The numbers have to equal out. So if Bo, Rowan, Dexter, and Gacy, there's 4 males and one female. So you have Scarlett, right?
Yeah.
Already, and then AOP and Cross. So they need a 4th. Miz would be their 4th. So that could be the way that you look at it. Maybe Cross, who really, this group was probably meant to build up Cross as a main eventer or a top singles guy, hasn't done that. So maybe Cross gets relegated in this situation of a 4-on-4 to like the mid-card guy.
I'm interested in seeing this new version of Bo versus the Miz. Do I necessarily...
And said he forgot about the B team.
Do I really want to see Wyatt's first Final Testament? No.
Yeah, not entirely.
I just feel like it's a faction that has not got over. When you brought AOP back, you brought Paul Ellering back, and you're doing Jack. I know apparently on the house show loop, it's been the Terror Twins versus Cross and Scarlett. So Scarlett's been getting back in the ring. I don't know if they're prepping her to have TV matches with the guys and with Nikki and to get that all back. Because again, Scarlett is a performer, like wrestler. I don't know if this is a for the Wyatts, and I'm very
just to
nervous.
keep them.
But again, I think Bo talking to Miz would be phenomenal. Because again, the history of the B team and the Miztourage and all that.
Yeah, I think it's a nice little. It's a segue for a little bit. I mean, because Survivor Series is going to be about Bloodline, so they're trying to keep them in the periphery for now until you build them back up. So, yeah, we could see a lot. Where do you like this? Do you think the Wyatts are attacking Cross? Are they going after Miz? Are they going after both of them? What do you want to see? Do you think there's a waste of time? Yeah, let us know. We want to hear from all of you. So that ultimately is one of our final takeaways. That was probably should have been in the mid card, but no, sorry. Finally, I keep messing. So then we go into the main event.
We were talking about Gunther.
Oh, we did talk about Gunther. Sorry, we already talked about Gunther. So we'll wrap on that.
Oh, girl. We're done with Raw. I think we beat Raw to death.
Yeah, we did beat Raw to
death. Half hour.
Fair enough. We do have to cut some things for 7 hours of wrestling into a 1.5 hour show.
Oh, girl.
Or we hope is a 1.5 hour show that's been going longer. So that being said, we move into AEW Dynamite. So Nikki, do you have any particular? I can't say.
No. So actually, Dynamite was on Tuesday, and they were calling it Title Tuesday. There was only one title on the line. They did go up against the second hour of NXT. We all know that the viewership was not great. I don't think this was necessarily a great go-home show to a pay-per-view. Again, AEW, I want to root for you, but you're making it real hard. And again, there was a lot of travel issues, like thinking of, luckily, I don't know where you are in the world or the country, but like I have family in Florida. Thank God my family's okay. I know Florida got hit with Helene and then Milton. Hope everyone's okay. So there was some travel issues that certain talent could not get out of Florida. So I know that changed the plans for Tuesday, but it's still, the card as a whole didn't make you hungry or didn't really sell WrestleDream to anybody.
I think there's a lot of people that were not on WrestleDream or the lower card of WrestleDream that he kind of shoved in there.
Yeah.
Overall, so just like
Again,
Commander,
so,
hologram.
like WrestleDream is in Seattle, so going like so much the wrestling world is in Florida, and to go from Florida to Washington. Again, if you're not familiar with the U.S., like opposite sides of the world, like complete like corner to corner, you could not be more far apart.
Yeah, southeast to northwest.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, we move it along into one of the opening segments. I don't know. I think it's one of the opening segments, but Daniel Garcia comes out and cuts a promo, which seems to be the trend in AEW, that when an AEW wrestler stays, they're proud to announce that they stayed. And Tony is proud to let them come out and cut a promo about why they stayed, because that's where the best wrestle.
I love Daniel Garcia. I think he's a new up-and-coming sweet little pickle baby. I personally kind of wanted him to go to WWE. Clearly, he's not. And then again at the end, because he did the thing and he did like grind dance. But now at the end of this, he cut this promo and putting everyone on notice. Anyone that has a belt, he's coming after them, and he just stood on the top of the ramp with his arms up. No hip swivels. Give the people what they want.
So my question is two things. First off, because there was a lot of speculations that WWE was hot to trot over him. So first off, how do you feel about Daniel Garcia re-signing with AEW?
I don't know. I think he could be one of those pillars. Again, gotta give him the right storylines. Again, I really liked him and MJF. Again, now that he's away from Jericho, away from necessarily the dancing, can he be this serious person that he should have been? Maybe more under the wings of Jon Moxley, being this serious, like how they try to mold Wheeler Yuta to be this like killer. Because I think he's great in the ring. I think he's getting there on the mic. I think obviously more reps. Like he's not under Jericho being his
I don't know why everyone loves him so much. I don't think he's that great. I think he's very mediocre. And like I thought going to WWE for him could have helped him, but because of the production value and everything else. But I also thought the same thing about Lexus King, Brian Pillman Jr., and I feel like the presentation that he's got is terrible. So like other than getting a spray-on beard, I have no idea like what they could do. So and we lost her. We lost her.
Sorry. Oh God. Oh, poor Lexus. Poor.
But that's literally what I felt. And like, and you guys aren't Lex offenders?
Is that what they're called?
Please tell me that's not what they're called.
Oh,
but that is honestly, that's Ed's got a career in like management or marketing for that. They're definitely Lex offenders. Actually, that should be his opponent, the Lex offenders.
I literally looked at you when we were watching NXT and I was like, why did he do that to his face?
If he hasn't used that line, he should use that for like everyone that opposes him should be a Lex offender. That would be great.
Oh my God.
But
he's a good looking man. Why are you doing that to your face?
Spray tan. Spray.
All of it. No,
yeah, spray on beard work for Hollywood Hogan, brother.
Because Hogan was like almost 50. Pillman is younger than I am. Like, stop your madness. He doesn't need spray on shit in his cute face. Like,
unbelievable.
Stop it.
But we go back to our original point. How do you feel about it? I just think that I don't know. I mean, to be honest, it's probably the best decision for him. He's got a brighter career, I think, in AEW because Tony puts a belt on anyone who stays. So, and he seems to be like value the loyalty to some extent. So I think for him, this probably was a better decision. And I'm sure he got paid probably more than he would have got paid in WWE.
if you treat him right, give him the right opportunities, give him the right amount of mic time. I don't know. I like him. I think he, again, growing leaps and bounds from where he was. I really want to see him more outside of the Jericho thing, because he went from Jericho to not having Jericho, and then like being, because the contract stuff for being away for so long. I'm excited to see where this goes. I think he's one of those up and coming kids, and I think maybe 5-10 years, I think we'll be singing his praises even more.
We'll see. But then again, Cody Rhodes. I said this all the time. I never thought Cody Rhodes would be where he is now. If you told me 15 years ago, I would have been like, "This guy's not going where." Ted DiBiase Jr. is the star of the Legacy group, but again, things change. Things happen, and booking changes. So we'll see. The other takeaway, a friend. I'll call him a friend of the show, even though he hasn't been on the show. But you never know who shows up at the happy hour. But Jake the Snake Roberts returns.
Can I give the quick aside about our love for Jake the Snake, or is that too much?
Just do like a 30-second clip, because we got to get through a lot.
Clip. So Nick and I got engaged on the Jericho cruise. The first part we called my mother, his brother, and my maid of honor, Melissa. The first non-family person we told that we got engaged was Jake the Snake Roberts, and we got a photo with him. And basically the only framed photo at our wedding was me, him, and Drake. Jake, that looked like that's our weird grandpa. Sorry, that was three. You made me rush.
It was Jake, Nicole, myself, and Drake the rapper. It wasn't in Toronto either. It was on a cruise. It was crazy. You didn't think there were so many celebrities on that boat. I wasn't expecting to see Drake and Jake in the same spot, but we did. It was miraculous. But regardless, getting back as she's getting upset, to the point, Jake the Snake Roberts returns, which I didn't even know he was still under contract for AEW, because I guess they have sort of Legends deal or something along those lines, and acquires new clients via a trade, I guess a client exchange, trade, talent exchange, whatever you want to call it, with Don Callis. So he gives up in this trade Lance Archer. But here's where I'm confused. He gets new clients, which we find out later in the night, and I'm going to get this wrong, is the Beast Mortos. I always forget Roosh, and then I always forget the other, the third. Drillistica. Yeah, because I wanted to call him Dragon Lee because he looks very similar to Mask. So he acquires 3 new clients, which I didn't think any of them were with Don Callis. Was Roosh? Mm-hmm. So Roosh was the only one. So I guess he traded Lance Archer for Roosh, which probably a good deal, to be honest. So how do you feel about Jake Roberts with his new clients?
I really liked him with Lance. I think they could have been more than they could have been, should have been. I'm hoping this is maybe a start to Jake's own kind of like Heenan family, like just collecting these heel killers. Because I can think Roosh is great in the ring, like Morto, like has been kind of on this rise.
He's a great wrestler. Everything I've heard is that
I think the Beast Monster. Yeah, so I think maybe if it's something different, I think to switch it up, and like again, I think we were talking about this last night. Again, how much Jake the Snake means to my family. How again, like I didn't articulate that great, but like us to our infancy of the relationship. I want to see Jake more on TV, and I know he's had some health complications, whatever. But if Jake is healthy and can cut a fucking promo, I'm here all day.
Yeah, he'll put over, like he made Archer look great for the little bit that he was with him and that they had some TV time. I remember it was right during like Mox's first like run as champions and stuff like that. Like he did make him look as good as he can. I just think they weren't going to do anything with Archer regardless. They didn't know how to get him. And I think Archer, he's a good wrestler, but I don't think he's like a main event talent. I think I would love to see Jake with a guy who could be a main event, and maybe Roosh could get to that level with Jake. I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see. But how do you all feel? Do you want to see Jake? Do you like this grouping with Jake? Luis Muertos is a guy that's on the rise there, and he got a match out, on the PPV because of it. So it'll be real interesting to see, where they go moving forward. So this group's gonna be really interesting. Let's see what Ed said. Ed's got Archer could go with Jake. They gave him nothing though. Yeah, he could have made him. Yeah, they didn't do anything with.
Yeah, and they should have. 100% should have. Like early days when Jake was, I know again the health issues, but like when Jake was like again when we met Jake, like he was just so like energetic, and I was like happy to see us and happy to talk to us, and I feel like he has had that health stuff, so like I feel like they didn't capitalize on when like Jake was like in it.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we move along as we talk about Dynamite. Those are our Dynamite takeaways that aren't on the card for Saturday. Sunday. They're finally going back to Saturday. So we are getting into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we lead into Saturday's AEW pay-per-view, WrestleDream. So if you don't know the matches, there's always a lot because Tony loves booking a lot of matches. So we'll catch you up on just what the matches are and the match card is, and we'll try and get through it and let you know what we think is going to happen.
Sweet dreams are made of things. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused.
Sweet dreams, they're made of this. If you like the song, make sure you click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. But let's get to it. So we open, Nikki, WrestleDream with the triple threat for the AEW, oh my God, International.
You almost said Crunchwrap.
I almost did. I was going to. You caught me.
I did.
Will Ospreay defending his non-continental Crunchwrap belt against Ricochet and Konosuke Takeshita.
Oh, you said that so great. I'm so proud of you.
Well, when you say it slow, you can get it out.
Slow. I think Will's got to retain. I think at this point, I don't know if Takeshi's in there to take the pin. I don't know if Ricochet's there to take the pin. I don't think they're putting this belt on Ricochet this early in a triple threat.
So, yeah, I agree with you that Takeshita's there to take the pin. We talked about this being on Nicktoberfest week, where they booked Ricochet and Ospreay, and we said it's too effing soon. I don't know why you did it, and then it just pushed it into this pay-per-view, which seems like it's got a bunch of matches, which always does a bunch of extra matches, and they're trying to find a quick, maybe main event or solid. I think this is opening the match because I think it's just going to be a banger because you have three great wrestlers in it. But first off, before I offer my prediction, does Kyle Fletcher get involved in this match? We've seen some hints. And, with the screwdriver, they almost won the tag belts, but they could have won it if they used a screwdriver. Don Callis came out on Dynamite and mentioned that, he sent out Takeshita to beat up Ospreay because Ospreay's basically won't do what's necessary to win the belts and go to a whole other level. So, Nikki, and our
Fletcher
audience.
Wouldn't do it.
I thought it was Ospreay.
No, because Fletcher's in the family with Takeshita, but Ospreay's not. So he put Takeshita in the match because Fletcher wouldn't take the screwdriver. Like how they're booking it.
Well, no. He was talking about, did you send him out to attack me? That's what when he says, you send him out to attack me. And then he finally, yes, I sent him to attack you because you wouldn't do what was necessary.
I don't know. As much as I am growing this crush on Kyle Fletcher, I don't think. I feel like a lot of this stuff is going to get overbooked and run-ins. I don't think this match needs that. Fair enough.
I just think that it could set up I think we're going to see a Kyle Fletcher Ospreay match that's going to happen one-on-one for the belt, and this could set that up. Takeshita, I think, is an in-between right now for them, just a placeholder of that feud as they build up Kyle Fletcher or turn him to a full-fledged heel, because I think it's the only way that Fletcher could be right now, at least a singles guy on his own, a guy that could book as a champion. So I would make him a heel. I think that's the best moving forward. So I could see him getting involved because it's a triple threat and it's just weird. Obviously, Ospreay could take him out or something like that. I don't know. I really do think that he'll get involved in this match and it'll plant seeds for an Ospreay Fletcher match because his true opponent for that belt is Fletcher. I think. I mean, yeah, everyone wants to see Ospreay Ricochet again, but you've already crapped the bed and jumped the shark with it.
I would prefer him to drop the belt to Fletcher and then Ospreay move up and then have Fletcher run that kind of mid-cardy.
Mikey's chiming in. Mikey, our buddy. Iconic podcast. 9 on the main and 1-0 out of match. Tony loves to add like 50 million. Yeah, seriously. I just think he just plays like video games all day. He's like, this would be a fun match to add, and let's add like 5.
I think if you listen to spoilers, which I try not to do, but I think they've announced a couple 0-hour matches on Rampage.
Yeah, that's why I tried to keep it to 9, to what I thought the 9 were that was going to be on the card. So ultimately, I think Nikki and I are in agreement here, though. Will Ospreay retains, and we move along. I don't think he loses it in a triple threat by any stretch. I think it's going to be a one-on-one to put somebody over. He's too strong a champion to do it like that, to do him like that. Even though like the big guys, like usually the heavyweights, they do it with a triple threat. It's going to be a one-on-one where he loses it and puts over somebody. It's going to be a great match. Maybe it's Ricochet.
When
maybe
he's ready to move up to World, then he'll drop it. I don't think the story's quite there yet for him to slide up, so he'll retain.
Fair enough. So moving along, we go into Hangman Page, Adam Page against Jay White. Nikki?
I love Hangman Page. He was the sweetest little pickle baby when we met him in 2020. Again, that's almost 5 years ago.
You're just dropping the name drops for the cruise, huh?
Dun, 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 dun. But I wasn't the biggest fan of Jay White for the longest time.
I was.
I know you.
Actually, I'm less of a fan now than I was.
I think we flip flopped. You stopped being a fan, and I became a fan.
Tony Khan ruined him.
I don't know what that says about us, but I'm sure it does. But
like Nia Jax. Nia Jax, you went 180 on Nia Jax too. But anyway,
I still don't like her, but I can call when bitch is gonna win. Yeah, I love Hangman Page. I think because we're in Washington, the rumor is that Swerve is going to come back. I think he's going to interrupt this match or cause a distraction or do something, and Jay will get the win. Again, Jay was injured. Jay's coming back. Would Hangman losing make him a little more crazier and go off on this crazy heel trajectory that he's going on, and this feeds it more?
So you threw it out there, so I'm going to say this. Because he's coming back, but is this where we see Swerve Strickland return? Is it in this match for the guy who just bashed the head?
He's not done. Him and Hangman are not done.
But see, here's the thing. So you talk about, this is the most logical match that he comes back for.
Yeah.
But the buildup has been with MVP and Prince Nana. So there's 2 avenues that Swerve could go down, I think, unless there's a complete... It's Tony Khan, so you never know. It could be an off-the-wall booking that he just shows up for, like, the main event or something. So I wouldn't put that past him, but I think those are the 2 avenues that we see Swerve. But this match is definitely logical. To your point, this makes a lot of sense where, again, does Swerve come back and avenge his chair shot to the head?
I think Hangman could take a loss more than Jay White can at this stage. Because I thought, we were excited because it was a will he, won't he, AEW, WWE, could he go to WWE? He went to AEW, and then he's trio champions with the ass boys.
That's all it. The Bang Bang Gang.
I know. And I'm saying him coming, and then they've turned me around. We're all guns up. But when he first came in, I was like, what is he doing? Why did he not go to WWE? Why is he not meeting on Raw? Like him and Seth Rollins, yes, please, all day. So but like Hangman's already like so more established that I think he can take this loss and have him go down that like spiraling, like hitting the rock bottom thing. I don't think Jake can take a loss here.
So it's a valid point. It's a valid point
Correct me down, but
to me. But like, I just think that they're building up logical booking to me. But again, what's this whole logic word? Logical booking to me says continue to build up this monster heel who's just taken out the whole group. And to be honest, you haven't done shit with Jay White anyway. So what's another loss for him at this point? So to me, I see Hangman.
Can I say one thing? Because you're saying he's a monster heel. I think
Not monster, but they're building him up as a top
I
heel.
think it's a different, like, monster heel to me is like Bronson Reed hitting 4,000 tsunamis on Seth Rollins. For the heel turn or the crazy turn that Hangman's taking is different than being a monster heel. I think that's two different heels.
Main event heel, whatever. Main event
I still
heel.
think that's different though. He's just like, so I think he's more obsessed with Swerve, and I think the match between Hangman and Juice on Collision that led to him and Jay getting into it, I think it was more Hangman getting his frustrations out on someone, and the bystander, the repercussion was just Juice, and then Jay wasn't going to stand for that. I think monster heel is not the right term, but again,
No, I mean, I just use it as just like a monster buildup. I still think
I love the two of them, so I win either way.
Oh, our buddies don't bury the lead.
Hey!
What's going on, guys? He loves him some Hangman.
I'm like not mad at
Now
him.
he's loving him in the match. He loves him in the match. There we go. But Viconic's got Switchblade. Unbelievable.
Again,
So everyone's divided over this. This is a very
I think it's me. I think potential. Again, we'll get there. I think this could potentially be match of the night, or one of the. I think this could be a great match. To be honest, like former Bullet Club kids.
that Jay White's gonna lose. As much as I love him,
I can't.
he's gonna
wait
lose it.
Can you promise me this? If Jay loses, or no, if Jay wins, I want you to wear your Jay White shirt next podcast. If he
Okay,
wins,
fair.
you're to wear your Jay White shirt.
Fair enough.
The
Fair
nice
enough.
one, not the dirty one.
I don't know. They're both dirty to me. I don't know. We'll see. But who you all got? Let us know in the chat below. Yeah. John Greasy could be match
I
of the
think
night.
it's gonna be a fun match. I think it's really gonna be fun.
We shall see. So we move along. Now I think we might rattle these off pretty quickly, some of the mid-cards, although we might disagree. But there's our old buddy, Jake the Snake Roberts, his new client, Beast Murtos. Murtos? I don't know. They say it differently every
Again,
time.
you just said that he's with Jake the Snake now, like Beast wins.
So I mean, Hologram did get his ass kicked, and they've been trying to build him up like Sin Cara. Like, it reminds me of Sin Cara back in the day for WWE. Like, when they first, like, he's a new Rey Mysterio, and everyone was super excited,
Then they replaced
and he did
him
nothing.
with somebody else.
But Hologram is really good. His match with Commander was pretty good. Like, it was really entertaining. A lot of, it's spot fest. But I feel like Tony's just, like, assembling all these spot guys. And now that you have Will Ospreay, who's the king of it, and you can't get better, like, I don't know how you can really, like, get that shock value with a guy like Hologram. So, to me, I think he can afford to take the L. Don't screw over our buddy Jake. We're in agreement. The Beast, Mortos, however you want to pronounce it, gets the W on this one. So, moving along now. This one I know we're going to disagree on because we just been disagreeing all week about everything on this. Mark Briscoe defending the Ring of Honor World title against the Learning Tree. Only the guy who reinvents himself time after time.
Again, listen to this podcast. I love Chris Jericho. I loved Chris Jericho, WCW, ECW Jericho, till all the WWE Jerichos. This is my least favorite Chris Jericho, and it did not. I know it's wrestling. I know they say shit, but it did not sit well with me. And maybe it's because the day of the week that I'm having. I don't like him putting shit at Jay. I really don't like that. I really don't want him to have the ROH belt. Jay better fucking win.
No, Mark. Jay's.
Yes, Mark. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
So, a couple things before we try and glance with. How do you like the build up to this match? Because to me, again, that promo he was the first one to bring that up, I feel like.
And to me, he's not the one to bring it up.
Yeah, like the shock value would work better for somebody else, like an MJF type person.
Yeah,
Not MJF, but like I'm saying, like a homegrown guy who could
honestly,
use
if it was like FTR, someone that had the matches with the Briscoes, someone that was wrestling Jay, like, I don't know, for Jericho to come out of nowhere in this shitty Chris Jericho thing, to me, like, him talking about Jay did not sit with me.
To me, it feels like they're trying to, again, re-elevate the Ring of Honor world title for whatever reason, because there's no TV deal with it. Like you just kind of have it thrown in there. So to me, it's just like again, like, does this match need to be on a pay-per-view? Like, could you have done this on a Dynamite and shortened it? I mean, to me, the build-up is like, again, it's some heat that he got more than what I thought it would be. A lot of the build-up to this match was a little bit stronger than I was like, oh man, like you talked about like something that nobody talks about or has talked about with Mark Briscoe in a while. So, all right, maybe you're adding a little bit more emotion to this feud, but again, you had like 2 weeks and no one really cares because you have no TV time for this belt, and it's a belt that has no prestige anymore in the grand scheme of things when you have 14 titles. So, I don't know if this is I think this is kind of a lose-lose for everybody to some extent. Like Jericho could try and re-elevate the Ring of Honor title, but I don't know what it does.
No.
Because he's on TV, and that's the only reason to put a belt on him. And Briscoe, if he gets the win here, yeah, it's a win. Then where are you going to go from here? I don't know who the next challenger is. I don't know. Like, again, is the belt going to be defended once every 6 weeks or 2 months on TV because it's just another belt to have? I don't know.
I don't. Again, like he's already been it. I didn't love it. I don't think Jericho needs this again. I think
yes, Ed. Jericho is a former ringer. He won the belt like I feel like less than like 18 months ago that he had. They used the Ocho. That was the Ocho came from all that.
Is that when he lost it to Eddie? My Eddie. I miss my Eddie.
So like honestly, we could have saved it for, and I know these guys. So these are our friends of the show. They cover Ring of Honor and AEW extensively. We love you guys.
Our people.
They could have saved it for Ring of Honor pay-per-view, but no. But is there a Ring of Honor pay-per-view? I don't even know if there is a Ring of Honor pay-per-view like anymore. Like I feel like it's like ECW One Night Stand is like Ring of Honor pay-per-views now. I don't know. Maybe I'm not following it as much, but like Tony just like it's like his minor leagues. It's his NXT, but he doesn't treat it like an NXT. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to see it back on Jericho. Give me a dusty finish, do anything, whatever. I don't want to see him take the belt off Mark after saying all that stuff. And I know it's wrestling and blue, but I'm not here for it.
Yeah. I don't know. Who do you all got for this match? Let us know in the chat below. Ed says, I don't want to see Jericho, so I'm guessing Ed's picking.
I'm done. Like, give me, again, after makes the heart grow fonder. Like, when's the last time Jericho has not been on AEW? Like, I need a little breaks. I didn't love him with Garcia. I didn't love him with Ricky. I don't love him with Hook. I think his red blood would be better without him. Like, I don't know. I
like the Redwood deal with him. I think he needs.
Jericho just needs a hot minute off my TV, guys.
Well, I'm okay with it. I am legitimately okay with Jericho winning. Thus, I predicted him to win and bring some prestige, the learning tree, to Ring of Honor. I have Jericho. Nikki has Mark Briscoe. I think she picks with her heart a little bit more often.
I know. I say that every week. Like,
see, Steve said it. He brings in all the Fozzy fans.
Okay.
Oh, see, barely agrees with you. He needs 6 months off.
Yeah, I like love him as a sweetheart when we met him. Great. He needs when's the last time? I cannot remember the last time he took more than a week or two off TV. I'll see you Royal Rumble. Like, take a second. Keep your wife in. Move on.
Fair enough. All right, moving along. Jack Perry against Takeshita. I almost said Takeshita. Shibata. Well, we're going to go through this one pretty quick. Who you got?
Oh, it should be about it, but it's gonna be Jack Perry.
Agreed here. He still had his own personalized belt that he made. I think Jack Perry is the winner here. Now, a very controversial topic on this
What is
show, more than anything else. Darby Allin, Brody King. And watch as I just set a match to this whole show. As the comments just start to roll in. Darby Allin, Brody King. I guess there's some questions that I have that I've kind of just generalized.
Okay.
But
Do you want my prediction?
Real quick, does this need to be on a pay-per-view? Or is well, first off, I guess maybe this is a better question. Why didn't Darby Allin fight back against the BCC? Like, you just lost your title match. I get that. But, like, he cut that promo about being stabbed on the bus, like, 3 weeks ago or whatever it was. And he's like, I guess I'm getting stabbed today. And then I went to the hospital. It's like, all right, well, what happened to the guy? And it's like, so the guy stabbed you and just got away with it because he was, like, throwing, like, quarters or spitting at him or spitballs, something stupid like that. But anyway, point is, he was talking about how he doesn't like to get bullied and he doesn't take it. And, like, he'll take a beating because he wants to fight bullies. But then he gets his ass kicked from a bully and he just leaves. So, like, I'm really confused. Like, if you're supposed to be this, like, anti-establishment, like, you know, culture, like, bullying type thing, like, why did he just, like, lose his title match? Like, shit, this sucks. So now I'm going to make an open challenge and whoever wants to fight me, fight me. Like,
I think this is, to cut you off when I'm done. I think this is another person that can very much be off my TV for a little bit. And apparently he's...
Darby?
Yes, Darby for sure. I think there's another person that can be off my TV for a little bit. He has not taken a break. Apparently, despite the foot and the getting hit by a bus and being stabbed by somebody, he's doing all the things. He wants to climb Mount Everest again. So have someone like Brody King, this bigger guy, destroy him, write him off TV for a little bit. Girl, bye. I love Brody King having like a one-on-one pay-per-view match. Again, necessarily doesn't need to be on pay-per-view, but if we're writing Darby off for a little bit, I'm here for it.
Fair enough. So I said, why didn't Darby fight back against BC and Ed in true Ed fashion? Because Darby's a moron who does not wash his coat.
Clearly. It's meta as fuck.
So, yeah, like, I just think it's, to me, it's a little, I don't know, just like non-continuity in the storylines that have happened that we argue and we talk about all the time. So, ultimately, I think I was hoping, and maybe they still have this plan because he was his, like, unofficial son, like, make him, like, 1990s Sting against NWO, like, hang out in the rafters and like see things going on for a little bit and be like pissed off that like things are going so crappy and like you see all the garbage that's going on and then be a hero of sorts. I don't know. That's kind of what I would like to see from him. Yeah. Herman, what's going on, Professor? Welcome back. He said he'd fight the bully, not that he'd beat the bully. That's fair. Fair point on that end. So ultimately, who you all got in this match? Who do you think's winning? These two have had an indie feud for years, and it's carrying over to AEW for years.
Brody getting a one-on-one on a pay-per-view right now would be great because, like, what is the House of Black doing right now? Nothing.
So Nikki's saying Brody King. I'm saying
I love a good Brody.
Darby.
Lord heaven.
Don't worry. If Ed calls in, that song's playing. We're going to hear it. So, yeah, Ed makes a good point, too.
I know. I don't.
When has the House of Black ever done anything? Fair enough. Fair enough.
Know.
Moving along. This is a quick one. Bucks. Private party.
Young Bucks, bye.
Yeah, we're going to do that pretty quickly. I don't think anyone thinks anyone's throwing the Bucks. The only question I have about this match is just who do you want to see dethrone the Bucks?
Anybody. That makes sense. You can put FTR in. I would, at one point you would have thought Gang Gang Bang or
Bang Bang Gang. Gang Bang Gang is...
Gang Bang
that's
or
X-rated
Bang Bang
stuff.
Gang. Acclaimed.
Mm.
I would take anybody at this point.
I don't even think... other than FDR, I don't see any
Who
tag
is
team
a
that can be thrown.
legit tag team anymore?
Their division has gone so downhill. Now Lucha Brothers are gone. You still have FDR. Acclaimed is
the
randomly-
Outrunners. Girl, put the again. Outrunners are like your left side center. That didn't make any sense, but
Our buddies by Conic say Private Party in this one.
I would
They're
like
predicting the change.
So that's the thing. Are they going to do the callback? Is that Private Party beat them on the tournament thingy to be the first ever AEW champions and then lost to SCU? I just don't know if this is too late. Again, like Mark Quinn has been out so long, I don't know if there's been enough of a surge behind Private Party to actually have them drop the belts to them. Like, Acclaimed was so flippin' hot for that period, and they did not put the belt.
No, Private Party's not going in. And they also had an interaction with, what's his name? Oh my gosh. He was the guy, Chris Statlander's manager. Oh my god.
So Hathaway?
Hathaway. He was trying to get them. They're like, yeah, no thanks. So like,
honestly, I think at this point the only tag team I'm excited about is the Outrunners and FTR.
They're the only ones with any heat, any momentum. So yeah, but ultimately here, Nikki and I do agree. We got the Becks. Moving along to another match. Another of the 12 matches that we got.
And now I really have to use the facility.
I know. Well, we'll try.
1, 2, 3. Say it together.
WrestleDream. Willow Nightingale, a rematch from the Owen Hart Cup Memorial Final. Who you got in this match? Mariah May. Do you think she successfully defends?
The glamour Mariah May. I'm sorry. She's not dropping the belt to Willow at this point. Who wasn't, this necessarily wasn't, I don't think this was supposed to be the match. Again, with the travel issues and Britt Baker was sick and do all the things. Again, I guess this is a callback to the Owen Carp. Owen Carp. Owen Carp Kerps. I had to pee so bad. The
Hohen Arp Memorial.
The HHRP RPs.
AARP Memorial Tournament.
Crunch Wrap Supreme. Yes, it's the callback to the Owen. And so if that's what we can get around with it, that's what they shake and she headbutted her. I get it. To me, Toni Storm has to come back and take her belt back. I don't think, I don't know. I think also Willow might be someone that needs to take a back seat for a little bit.
Fair enough. Let's see. We got some comments coming along. Yep, everyone seems to agree. Mariah, easy win. Easy pick. And now we go into our main event. Whoops. Bryan Danielson in his home state. Jon Moxley. Let's get to it. Who you got?
You can see. I'm wearing my Jon Moxley shirt. This is You Sick Fuck.
So before you make your pick, I know you.
I think I already made mine, but go on.
Yeah, I think everyone knows. So my question is, first off, who comes to help Bryan Danielson? Because there's a whole BCC group out to get him.
There's not a whole. It's Wheeler Yuta, which Pac put in a hold, and he's like, "No, stop." I'm worried because apparently at the Dynamite match that he was losing feeling in his arms. And
Danielson?
Yeah. He was on whatever podcast interview, whatever, saying he was losing feeling in his arms and he can't sleep because he's getting shooting pain. And the doctors are saying it's from his neck. I think the boy needs to go get surgery, and I think he's going to drop this. I think you're running through, again, he had the match with Okada. He had the match with Nigel McGuinness. I think we're quickly running through the things, and it would make all the sense in the world for him to drop to Mox, because I don't think he's well. And I'd rather him be with Bree and Birdie and Buddy and have all the things than have him kill himself on my TV.
Fair enough. I think there's got to be something. I honestly think, in terms of who comes to help him, I think Darby. Because I think now he hasn't done anything since he got his ass kicked from that group, so maybe he's the third that helps to try and even the odds. Because you have Pac, you have Claudio, and you have Mina, so you kind of need a female in there.
Who's Mina?
Not Mina. Sorry, I was looking at. Oh my gosh,
Marina Shafir?
Marina, not Mina. Marina. There's another M. I was close. At least I got the right letter. But I think there's some grouping that kind of helps them. And then the other question is, so we've talked about this because this could be, because I think you've hinted at your pick. If there is a changing potentially of the guard, we've talked about it. Who is the higher power?
I can't even take that one right now.
Can you? Oh, can you take it on? Yes, you have to take it on.
No, because it's gonna be cool. I know. Honestly, so side note, everyone thinks it's gonna be Shane, which I would hate. I think what would be hysterical if it's actually Christopher Daniels.
I was gonna say that
because
just now.
I never thought he was the higher power. That was a rumor. Oh my god!
And now he's in a
imagine?
position to actually be the higher power.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Oh my god, I want that so bad now. Actually, I'm gonna have to step away for 30 seconds. I'm sorry, I love you.
All right, go.
But
go,
if
go.
I don't, it's gonna
Just
be
go.
an issue.
So, yeah, who do you all think while Nikki is doing her answering a call from nature? So, who do you think is a higher power? Is it, I've mentioned I thought it might have been Shane McMahon in the past. I don't know that. Again, like with the documentary that just came out, the McMahon documentary that just came out, who is the higher power in AEW? Those are the two options that make the most sense to me. Is obviously like Shane McMahon or Christopher Daniels. Everyone out there, do you see somebody else that could fit into that mold? Buddy's Irish Wrestling Talk. What's up, Derek? Shane O'Mac will show up too. Yeah, honestly, that's the big, the rumor and everything else going on is that Shane O'Mac show. Like, I just think that it's interesting. Herman, interesting. Sami Callihan. So now, we're gonna open up the phone lines pretty soon. Actually, like shortly, like probably another 3-4 minutes. But I'm curious to hear that. Professor, if you want to call in, let us know why you think Sami Callihan. Is it the whole hacker gimmick? Is that the thing what he was doing at NXT and I think still a bit in TNA? But that's an interesting kind of person for it. But why? Here's my question to that though. Why would John Moxley, a former world champion, answer to Sami Callihan? When he's been a multiple-time world champion, Sami Callihan's never won anything in any of these companies. So, to me, like, I mean, he's won like mid-card titles, but yeah. Oh, she's hearing me. You're getting her angry. She's coming back. She's making it back. So, all right. Well, I'm catching her up.
I'm sorry. All I heard was Sami Callihan.
So, Professor joins the show, and he said he thinks the higher power.
Really good, man. The higher power would be Sami?
Yeah, and then apparently the chat is blowing up over this because Steve and Ed are agreeing.
Oh, they're on the
apparently
Revolver payroll.
Mox's partner was Callihan.
Yes.
That's news to me. I wasn't.
Yeah. No, that makes. But do you would think that in the ratio of tag teams would Mox be the Shawn Michaels and
right? Yeah, you would
Callihan
think
would be the Jannetty.
And that's my point. Is like Mox is a former world champion, so I don't know why he would answer to someone who didn't achieve anything like what he achieved in everywhere. So like it has to be somebody who's got more influence on the industry as a whole or the company. So those two, McMahon or Daniels, I really think it's McMahon.
Is your part of you fears that's gonna be Tony Khan and be like, it's me, Bryan, it's me all along?
No, because he just like literally, I don't understand why he would do that. Because then, all right, here's the exact reason for it. Why would John Moxley go up to? If you remember, Mox went up to Jack Perry and said, "I don't care what anyone says about you. You're a good guy." So that comment alone, like if Tony was the one running it, wouldn't you want to take out the people that took you out?
Yeah, but Undertaker burned Stephanie's teddy bear in front of him too.
Wait, in front of.
Yeah, so the higher power, like Undertaker stole Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah,
tried to
and
make him
in
a
front.
bride,
Okay.
burned the teddy bear, and it was still Vince McMahon.
I don't know. I just think that
I don't want Tony Khan to be a Vince McMahon, obviously, but I'm just saying that could be a thing.
Herman says they love chaos, and
Obs.
Steve says they could just make something up.
Literally, we can say
Hey.
anything and it would make sense. Let's all put our tinfoil hats on, kids. It
Exactly.
can go anywhere.
Fair point. But ultimately, Nikki and I disagree. I think Danielson's coming out on top. Nikki's going Mox and watching the world burn with the new higher power, potentially.
I feel like Bryan needs to go get surgery. If he's saying legit, he's losing feeling in his arms and his limbs and he's getting shooting pain. And he's already said he needs to get neck surgery done again. Like, just go take care of yourself, baby. Mox could be, is this 4 or 5? Again, correct me below. But would this be his 4th reign as AEW?
No. 3rd.
Mm.
Right? Isn't because he was the first 2-time champ, and then I don't think he
Yeah,
won.
but then with him and the bullshit between him and CM Punk.
Oh, that he did. Oh.
I think that was his 3rd, and then again,
This is
I
a problem
think
with having
this
a
is his
million
4th.
belts in AEW.
No, it's just them. I hate the interim bullshit that they did. To be 100% honest, I think this,
Herman's got you
I think
4th.
that-
It's his 4th title.
Professor. I think this would be his fourth run.
Yeah.
But again, anybody gets hurt, break glass, Moxley comes out, and I do love Moxley and Marina Shafir together. You know, we've said before that he wanted her in his stable.
Yeah. So
And I think you can put the belt on Mox for a little bit until you, I don't want to say Danny Garcia, but until you build a baby face back up. Because I don't think at this point, I guess maybe you'd have to build it up between Swerve and Mox. Like, I don't know who's your baby face to take. Again, it sounded like you to be heel baby face.
Yeah, you gotta have a heel and you gotta have a baby face. You gotta have a good guy and bad
You
guy.
would need the rise of the baby face. And I don't know, besides Bryan, who's your baby face? Who's your top baby face right now in AEW besides Bryan?
It might be Wheeler Yuta now.
I know, he just cried in Pac's arms. Like, no.
Poor guy.
No.
Help me. But so as we wrap on WrestleDream, let us know what you're thinking, what you're expecting for WrestleDream. We're just about to open up the phone line. So as we wrap here are our final predictions for WrestleDream. So what I did was I put all the differences at the bottom if you could see them. But Nikki and I agree. Jack Perry, the Bucks, Mariah May, Murtos.
More.
But if it's mirror, it should be UE. That's how I pronounce it. Mirror.
That's not how words work.
More. I don't know. Words are hard. So then we got Will Ospreay. Those are the 5 that we agree on. So someone's going to have some differences. Someone's coming out on top. We disagree with the world title. I got Danielson. She's got Mox. I've got Darby. She's got Brody King. I've got Jericho. She has Mark Briscoe.
Yes.
And I have Hangman Page, and she has Jay White. Where do you all stand on some of these? You agree, disagree? You think you're going 9-0? I think I'm going 9-0. We're still waiting for someone on this show
I'm
to
sure
go 9-0.
There's 6 more matches that are going to come out that we have not predicted.
Oh, yeah. And they're all going to be on 0-hour pre-show and a new show.
Again, like, because we were talking about, like, Full Gear's in New Jersey, and obviously we're stationed in New Jersey. I don't want to go because I don't want to be there for 12 hours. Because you have a 7-hour pre-show.
I'm trying to go.
I know,
trying to go to cover it.
They do, like, Ring of Honor, their pre-show, Ring of Honor, the match. I'm like, I can't even do this podcast without going to the bathroom.
Unbelievable. Just a lot.
And you love it.
I love you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Body break besides beer line matches. Fair enough with you.
No, there's no potty lines in this house.
Touche. Well, that being said, we are going to get into we were going to get into a preview for SmackDown, but time
It's
stricken.
a construct.
Yeah, it is always a construct, but 17 hours of wrestling or whatever it is. Even today, we had 2 shows and a PPV, PLE, whatever you want to call it, to preview, and we still had to get through all that. There's still a lot to get through. But that being said, we are going to open up the phone lines. That being said, Nikki, 3, 2, 1, get your calls ready. Right. We might change that theme. I don't know. Call me maybe.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. So, regardless, let's bring them all in. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the show, we heard them. They cover a lot of AEW. They cover a lot of Ring of Honor. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opinions shared. Ladies and gentlemen, he likes it. Mikey likes it. Mikey, welcome back.
Hi. I know it's been a while. Life has
What's
been
going
kind
on,
of
buddy? How
busy.
you been?
I've been doing really good. I'm excited to be back. And yeah, I was tuning in from my car on my way back from work. And then I was like, you know what? I got some opinions. So let me see if I can squeeze a little bit of time.
It's like the bat signal. I knew that Ring of Honor and AEW would throw up at least one like very vocal opinion from you.
It's like me and the 4 other people that review ROH. But Tony Khan, we blame you for that. But anyways, just promote it. It's not that hard. Just promote ROH and also promote the stuff you got going on in AEW right now.
Seriously. Not everyone can be, well, you know, that, not to go back to the doctor, but like that, not everyone can be a great promoter. Like there's 2 great, like Dana White, and I hate to say it, name redacted Mr. Blank, Mick Blank, are the 2 greatest promoters. And unfortunately, Tony is still learning that lesson, I feel like.
So, you know, we could be here all night, but we don't got that kind of time. But Tony, I don't think you're a bad booker. I don't think Tony's a bad booker, and I don't think he's a bad like GM for AEW. It's just that there's just small changes we need to make. Like, look, am I excited for WrestleDream? Yeah, I think these matches have some tendency to be pretty fun, and I love fun pay-per-views. But when you have so many special shows in a row, and your story building to this pay-per-view has kind of suffered a lot.
Well, that's the thing that happens with like WWE has the same issues. Like when you do a pay-per-view 2 weeks later, I don't care. Like you have no build up to it. There's no relevancy to me actually like investing in the 2-week build up. And I think Tony does that a lot with like with Ricochet and Will Ospreay. He did the same thing. Britt Baker, Mercedes. He's like their names. I don't need to build it up, and you still need something. That's how you make it a money match.
Don't even get me started on Miss Monet.
I will start on something.
I know. I will say though, if this does eventually, before we get Chris versus Monet, if we get Camille versus Chris, I'm actually here for that match before anything.
That'd be interesting.
I love me some good powerhouse, and as we know, Chris is a pretty stacked powerhouse. I'm familiar with Camille's work because I have followed her on, you know, where she previously was in her other promotion too. So I know her work. And, you know, right now she's just squashing folks left and right on AEW television, but it's exciting. But yeah, I feel that the storytelling leading into WrestleDream has suffered because you've had so many special shows. And then Tony Khan came out in an interview saying that, you know, oh, there's no such thing as long-term storytelling. It's more week-to-week booking. I'm like, Tony Khan,
yeah,
sir,
who are you?
I was like, hold up. When I saw that, I had to stop what I was doing. I'm like, listen here, Tony. Maybe it's with certain things, yes, you don't need to book week to week. But you've had 6 weeks to build up to WrestleDream. And I felt like you only really started the last 2 weeks building to the pay-per-view because you had everything else. I'm worried because I think WrestleDream is going to be fun, but some of the decisions that we're leading to has me worried because I'm afraid that we don't know what's going to happen because after this, so WrestleDream, it is what it is, right? But Tony has to be very mindful of how he builds up to the next pay-per-view, because now we're heading into the final big four for AEW's calendar, which is Full Gear in November. And Full Gear is like one of my favorite big four pay-per-views of AEW. Of course, I'm biased because I got to go to last year's Full Gear in Los Angeles at the Kia Forum, which was fantastic.
Mhm.
But Full Gear tends to be like the ending of what 2024 has been for AEW, but we've been so all over the place since the beginning of the year. I have no idea what's going to happen at Full Gear and where we're going, because they change the plan every 5 seconds. It's so frustrating because I want to root for AEW and I like AEW. There's some fun talent in there, but wrestling matches are only going to take you so far. We need to start building characters and stories.
Yeah, exactly.
I could not agree with you more, Mikey. I cannot agree with you more because, again, Ed and I have the conversation here. I love a good match. It's like, I'm gonna do a flippy thing. You're gonna do a flippy thing. Yes. But do I love some story in my wrestling? Yes. And don't tell me he can't do story, because Hangman and Omega leading up to that match was incredible. So I know you have it in you, but you haven't shown it to me in a little bit.
Right. And that brings the question, though, with what we've seen so far, I wonder how much of it is Tony and the backstage hands in terms of who's putting this together, or I wonder how much the talent is involved. So, like, I was so baffled when Tony said that comment that long-term storytelling doesn't exist. And then I'm like, sir, you just had one end, or at least the first chapter end at Wembley. Do we not look at Tony Storm and Mariah May? This has been a year story in the making.
Wow.
We literally took the movie All About Eve and we put it in the context of wrestling. It is literally plot for plot, beat for beat, all about Eve, but just with wrestling. Tony Storm is the starlet. She takes the young up-and-comer under her wing. She trains her. They become close. They become friends. Betrayal happens, and then Mariah takes Tony's spot by taking her title at Wembley. And so now she's kind of running the show as Tony is running around in the background. Also, hurricane season is no joke, ladies and gentlemen, because we were supposed to get Tony in Mexico tonight for CMLL, but because of the hurricane, it has been postponed. So I'm very upset.
Yeah.
So actually, you beg the question. So do you think, I'm going to put this back on you, Mike. Do you think Tony's returning on Saturday, tomorrow?
That's a good question. So I could see Mr. Khan be like, hey, Tony, come back. This, I think, would be great. I am excited for a return for Tony, but I feel that what we've been playing with so far, if Tony is smart about it, and I hope he's smart about it, we don't get Tony tomorrow. What we should do is we need to see Mariah and Mina go at it before Tony can return, because again, we're planting the seeds. Well, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, Tony was in Japan and she teamed with Mina in a tag team match, and she also had a Stardom Championship. Tony had a Stardom Championship match for the belt too, but Mina and Tony were a thing, and then Mariah and Mina are friends. I've been saying this for the longest time, and I will keep saying this till the cows come home, but in order for Mariah to become probably my favorite women's character in any promotion right now is that she took out her mentor. So in order for you to have everything to yourself and be that very evil and selfish kind of like heel, you need to destroy your best friend. And who is Mariah's best friend that we've been seeing for the last year is Miss Mina Shirakawa.
I cannot agree with you more.
Well put, Mikey. I gotta say that was well done. Take a bow, sir. Mikey, so last shot before we let you go. And where can let everyone know where they can find it?
Absolutely. So my last shot opinion is I think WrestleDream is going to be fun, but Tony, you need to maybe rework some things, because I really want to say that I want to say by the end of Full Gear, be like, this was great storytelling and this is a fun way to end it. But you can find me. I am leading 9 other crazy, chaotic individuals over at the Biconics Wrestling Podcast, where, Nick has so ceremoniously given us our credentials. We cover everything for WWE, AEW, CMLL, TNA, ROH. So there is a Ring of Honor. It's just on like online exclusive. And then we're also starting to dabble into GCW, which has been a lot of fun so far. So Speaking of which, be prepared. We're covering Fight Club this upcoming week, so I'm super excited. It's gonna be fun.
That's so
Nice.
exciting.
Nice. Well, be sure to check out Mikey, Iconic Wrestling Podcast, friends of the show,
Yes.
our Wrestle View, or not Wrestle Show, Wrestle View. There's some Wrestle Show New Jersey friends, which we'll hopefully see you there again in I guess hopefully it's April again this year. I don't know what it'll be, but
Or May. Yeah, May, right? Yeah, it was May last year.
it's May. Man,
Yeah, it was May.
warm.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
warm.
May.
Yeah, so that'll be a fun time. We're gonna have to do some big simulcasts this year for Wrestle Show New Jersey. So that'll be a big
absolutely.
can't wait. Bart Scott can't wait. Well, Mikey, pleasure as always. You, sir,
Bye.
are cut off. Give you a little kiss goodbye. Look at that. Nikki, we move along.
Yes.
We're bringing him in. He's been chiming in. We haven't seen him for a little bit, but he's back on. Ladies and gentlemen, he goes by the Professor. Professor Urban, welcome back in.
Thank you. I've been trying to get back to y'all, but life happens and everything else. So
Seriously, with everything going on in the world, weather, kind of everything else, we get it. So, but we appreciate you're here now. So, cheers.
cheers. So let's get back to that Moxley Daniel Bryan thing.
Yes. So what you got?
Let's go.
So this is why I believe it's Sami Callihan. For a couple of reasons. One, Mox and Callahan are super cool. They used to have a tag team. And Moxley has tried to trademark some things.
So wait. So educate us all here. So what has he tried to trademark recently?
Their old tag team name.
So which was I wasn't a big super indie fan.
Well, I would tell you, but I cannot remember what it was myself. But and he's dropped clues of Sally Callahan. It's some of the wording he used, and John does great in chaotic situations. And if you really think about it, he said they're pointing out as a higher power, but Mox never said anything about higher power.
Well, true. He said the way I think, if I recall correctly, he was like something greater than myself, which kind of leads to that same idea, though, right?
Well, what's greater than Mox besides chaos? Controlled chaos. And who would not, because they've been trying to get Sami to come in for a while. He's not signed. And the BCC, because they could be both figureheads, and the BCC never really had a leader.
Right.
If you control, and most wrestling companies, if you control the world title, you control the company, correct?
True. Yes. That's
so
fair.
You're going to take out the guy you find as the weak link. You bring in Sami, and you could take Jack Perry away from the Elite.
Oh, wow.
This helps build the storyline of how you can bring the Elite back to being faces. You can.
You just say you're a good kid.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting. I mean, that would be a whole other angle. Like you're disbanding a couple of groups, right? Like at least two, like the BCC and then the Elite with Perry moving over. It's an interesting. I just find myself struggling to wrap my head around. Like I can get the whole like hacker gimmick, like they were a tag team, like they like the chaos element. And to your point, yeah, if you have the world title, you do control the company. And normally it's either one or the other. Either the heel champion has the title, and then the authority is the face authority, which rarely happens, or vice versa. So that's why I feel like that's one of the reasons why I feel like Bryan's winning, and I just can't see Callahan doing it because I don't see him having the stay power to even to AEW audiences saying like, yeah, I can buy into Sami Callihan being the guy versus like again the rumored people or even Christopher Daniels as he's been an authority figure on air already. So maybe he realizes because he got his ass kicked from the Elite. Remember a couple months back, right when he was trying to announce one of the matches. So maybe this is his reaction to that. I'm going to form my own, group of henchmen that'll do my bidding for me. I don't know. It's just tough for me to wrap my head around like him not being a former. I guess maybe I'm stuck like the not being a former world champion for Mox to answer to somebody who's not greater than him in any either as a wrestler or as a authority figure.
Well, and that's the point. Everybody's so caught up on whoever this person is thinks he's going to be the leader. Mox never, ever said that he was working for anyone. He wanted to make the company better, and they needed to take over. Sami could come in easily and pick up one of the other 17 titles they got. and don't they need a third person for their trios title now since Yuta's gone?
True.
Yeah.
So and like we were y'all were talking about with building storylines, what this could be a long-term storyline, and again get the Bucks back to being faces and Okada. People love Okada and they cheer him even though he's with the Elite. Imagine if they actually take Perry, switch them, and you could bring someone else in to help the Elite. You just never know.
Well, Omega, Omega is still on the horizon, right? But like, I don't know that he would go back to the Elite after that. But yeah, it's an interesting concept. It's not, you're not crazy, but I think like it's a good way logically of booking it, and yeah, you never know. Herman, what else? Last shot before we let you go, and then obviously, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Facebook at the Wrestling Society Network. You can find us on apps on Twitter, Lord, on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon, and Fire Stick. And we also do our website, thewrestlingsociety.com. We have a lot of different information and different things going on. So that's where y'all can find me. Thank y'all for having me again. Love y'all. Love being on here. And did y'all see that we did add y'all to our podcast room?
Yeah, man, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
So thankful.
Appreciate that.
No problem.
So much appreciated. We always love having you. Ermin, hopefully we'll catch you next week. Always a pleasure.
Always.
You, sir, as always, are cut off. And we move along. Nikki, we got 7 minutes till SmackDown, so we're trying to cram it all in.
No.
What is I don't even know what you're saying. But regardless, all right, we got 2 more callers left before we get to it. So, are you ready?
Are you ready for it? Meow.
I said, are you ready, Nikki?
Are you ready? Ooh,
All right, let's get him in here. Say his name, Nikki, and he appears.
Steven!
I'm a scat man. I'm a scat man.
All right, let's bring him in. Steven!
I'm glad to see I'm not the only one whose name you do that to.
What do you mean?
You did that with the first caller.
No.
The way I said Mikey is not the way I
Unbelievable.
say Steven.
Unbelievable. This guy.
No, I'm far from complaining.
Number one in our hearts, number one in your programs.
Unbelievable.
Steven!
Well,
The
that's
first
very kind
regular,
of you.
the original, the OG regular, Steve.
OGTC MOUSC.
But going back to that guy, much respect for the All About Eve reference, by the way.
With the what?
With the All About Eve reference he gave. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but he's absolutely right. That's one of the all-time great old movies, by the way, if you ever have some time to check it out.
Touche. I haven't seen it.
Maybe after the Super Bowl when there's nothing to watch.
Fair enough. Steve,
Yeah.
what do you got for us?
Well, I actually have a stat I ran across before I run into my shitting on Tony bit.
I figured I had a suspicion that with all the WrestleDream predictions that there was going to be a bunch of crapping on Tony.
Well, news came up this week. So anyway, the stat I saw, which I don't think is related to anything that's been discussed, I saw that since he's been on the main roster since starting in 2012, Roman Reigns has only been pinned in one-on-one matches 17 times by 15 different people. Only 5 of those people were on the regular weekly shows. And one guy did it twice.
Interesting.
Do you know who they might be real quick?
That pinned him twice?
No. Well, one guy pinned him twice on Raw. In fact, they were all on Raw. Now that I think about it.
Sheesh, I pinned him twice.
Yeah, not counting premium live events. These are all they pinned him.
Daniel Bryan. Watch it be Daniel Bryan.
They pinned him in one-on-one matches on Raw. This is how little he's been pinned one-on-one over the years. But I have it here. Big Show.
It's gonna be 3 no names, right? Well, not no names, but like relative.
No. You know all these people. Big Show, Finn,
Okay.
Samoa Joe, Seth, and Miz. And surprisingly, Miz was the one to do it twice.
Yeah, well, so kind of like what I thought, right? Like you have Finn and Miz, who are two. I mean, I know Miz is a whole thing, but like mid card.
Was that when he had the IC belt?
Maybe.
This was in actually in back-to-back episodes in 2000. I forget the year. It was 2018 or 19. It wasn't that long ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting too.
Steve, bring in the stat man. Bring in the stats.
Yeah. All right, now time to shit on Tony.
Yep, bring it in, baby.
Well, you know why? Because Steve is a stat man.
I'm a scat man.
That's it.
Yes.
Not the whole song, just the stat man part.
That's okay. The stat that's important is the ratings for Dynamite when it decided to take on NXT head-to-head. Only a 1 hour overlap because I think Dynamite was 9 to 11 and NXT was 8 to 10. And it showed what happens when you actually give the wrestling fan a choice nowadays. And Dynamite just got absolutely hammered in the ratings. It was the lowest rating they have ever gotten. I think it was 340,000.
Yeah.
And just after they signed their big TV deal, number one, and number two, it's the go home show for a PLE.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not good. And all I could think of was, okay, does Shad want to intervene now?
I don't think he's gonna. I don't know, because I don't think Tony can be like, oh, well, he was NXT, it was like the baseballs, it was all the things.
Yeah. Yeah, you can
And
chalk
again,
it
you
up to-
can't call it the Tuesday. What's it? Fuck. What's it? Title Tuesday Dynamite on a Tuesday, and there was only one belt defended by your shitty champion. Like, I want to root for them so bad, but they make it so hard sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there's the common piece of this equation, and it's Tony, and not to mention Meltzer coming out with with this new deal. They're going to be more profitable than I forget what 10-year span of WWE that he had picked out, or WCW in its entire history. I'm like, well, that's no motivation for Tony to try to improve things.
Seriously.
Plus, I'd like to see the numbers on that anyway.
Yeah. You never. Well, there's more choices now with TV, so like more channels. So you're not going to get the same. Like MASH is never going to happen again. Even the Super Bowl doesn't equal the MASH rating. So like,
No.
because there was less channels, so you're going to get like less variety means that the product like less dilution. So you're able to get that. So I don't think you'll see that at all. You'll never see that again. So
No.
that's kind of
No.
Steve, as we're venturing into SmackDown territory here, what's your final last shot here as we
Yes, and more importantly, because first pitch is in a couple of minutes.
Boo Dodgers, they're gonna lose the Mets.
Are we fighting right now?
Steve is a Dodgers fan, and we're Mets fans in this house. We'll
All
see
right.
in LCS.
Well, they're not facing each other yet, but anyway, a quick comment on the potential Gunther versus Goldberg match. Excuse me.
Exactly.
No! 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 Don't do it! Don't do it!
How dare you?
This
How
is-
dare you?
Steven, this is
Don't you do it! Put him ringside with somebody who can really go nowadays. But no, don't do it. All right, I'm done.
Steven, this is why I love you.
Better than
Steven?
therapy.
Steven is very anti Goldberg. Well, Steve, you sir are cut off with that Goldberg take. We're gonna see Goldberg Gunther. It's gonna happen. It will happen. But in the interest of time, we're gonna move this along. Our final caller of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, what's in your head? His name is Ed.
Hello.
What's
Hello.
going on?
How's it going? How you been?
Happy Friday. What are you drinking? What are you thinking, Ed?
What am I drinking? Just water. Trying to hydrate. What am I thinking? Since you mentioned it, Nick, who's Darby's NWO if he's going to be Sting?
No, he's done. He's old.
Well, his NWO is the BCC.
Oh, because I thought you were going to say that his NWO are people that don't have SA allegations. So like,
Oh.
And you know damn well this is your match of the night.
it's what I just want to see. The star of I think you should leave Brody King. Just pack and smoke this guy.
It'd be interesting to see. I just don't. I can't see Brody King like honestly winning anything there.
I don't know what you do with this. I get it that they're trying to make Darby a thing. They're trying to make everybody a thing. All of their pillars, any of their homegrown guys, they're just trying to. It's exhausting. Like while you guys were talking about it, I looked up Daniel Garcia's promo from Dynamite. Get the microphone away from him.
Yeah, I thought the same exact thing.
Mickey, I agree with you. I'm bummed that he stayed in AEW. I'm dying to see him in like a finishing class in NXT. He needs it. He'd be incredible.
Yeah.
Like it would have been amazing if he was the guy instead of Wheeler to be a part of the BCC.
Yeah.
Like he'll get there eventually, but it's almost a waste
Yeah.
at this point.
It's just like he's on the cusp, and if he just had like that one class.
He
and then
needs a guiding hand.
Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, you little baby pickle. How I feel.
But I feel that way about a ton of guys in AEW, right? And like, I mean, I know I talk about it a bunch when I pop in here, but like, I look at a place like DPW, right?
Mm-hmm.
You watch Deadlock Pro Wrestling, and like Jake Something was a guy who was like, he was just like a guy in TNA, right? Like he had that little feud with like the what's it called, Cody Deaner. and like Eric Young and stuff. Like they did something with him, you know, no pun intended. And then he got his name and everything.
Yeah.
But he gets to DPW and they push this guy to the moon because he looks like a wrestler, like a pro wrestler ass wrestler.
Mm.
And they book him like Mike Awesome. How he just showed up and just like fuck shit up. That's Jake something. Like Jake something is their version of like the Intercontinental Champion, and he's just there to do like pro wrestler moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
He's
like
so
power.
good. Like, and what's fun about that place too is you'll get guys like you'll get big names from the indies or like your oddball names. So like the Beast Mortos is showing up and he's debuting against Jake something. FTR's on their way over there before they're them signing with possibly WWE. The Motor City Machine Guns were their tag champs for a little bit. Hell, Javon Evans and I forget what Lucky Ali's NXT name is, but those guys are from TPW.
Barely on TV though. They're just putting Javon. Like obviously he had a match with Orton.
Yeah, which is awesome. But that's the point I'm making is that like these guys are going from these indie shows where they're showing that they have promise, and then they're going, "Ooh, we're gonna grab them and we're gonna work with them," and they're leaps and bounds better than they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the idea, right? Is you find you eye a talent on the indies that has something, and then you can harness it with good coaching. But like, unfortunately, I think that the coaching's not there in AEW.
It's not, and they don't want it. That's the thing. The people that are there think they're better. Like they think they're better than they are.
Well, it's the, you know what it is? It's the, I think, like society, but like everyone grew up like watching documentaries and this and that, like TV, right? Like we grew up like not necessarily reading books as much, but like you watch the documentaries and you see all the wrestlers that have, I know Nikki's making a face. Stop it. But
Nick,
like
Nikki's been reading a lot of books, Nick.
But regardless, the point is like Stone Cold Steve Austin, right?
What?
His point, exactly. His point was that I never was getting over if you made me the ringmaster, if you made me stunning Steve Austin or whatever, or the gorgeous blonde, whatever the hell it was. So like, maybe
Gorgeous blonde Steve Austin, the big gold one, Steve Austin.
Yeah, no, but he was the gold. Yeah, like exactly. But like he's like, I knew I wasn't getting over, so I created Stone Cold, which was off of me, and I get that, and that's what AEW tries to harness into, but it gets so extreme that you're trying to be so much of yourself, and sometimes, unfortunately, too much of yourself is too much for everybody. Like you need to own it back, and I always think back to like different scenario, different role, but like the creative. Vince Russo was great at creative in the Attitude Era because Vince McMahon told him, "Calm it down. Like you need that. Like calm you down, but like you got great ideas that you can harness."
Exactly. And I was going to say, oh wow, I just lost my train of thought completely because I had something I had to go off of that.
Training, promo classes.
Man, I mean, like I was saying earlier, it's just like I'm so burnt out on AEW that it's like they're like right on the cusp, and then you just get like tons of just like fed bad. Oh, sorry, no, I remember what I was going to say now because the fed bad thing clicked for me. Adam Copeland popped up and had a big like dub good promo, right? After the internet was like, you know, shaking their fists or whatever. But like you saying that sometimes people are too much themselves and it's bad. I love me some Ricky Starks. You know, Mikey said it earlier that like, you know, he was following Camille and like I was watching NWA around the same time. And like Camille's another one that like she's got promise, but absolutely needs more work. And AEW is going to do their best to hide it. So she's just going to be Sasha's heavy, right?
Yeah.
But there was that in-ring promo with Ricky Starks and Copeland and whoever else. I forget the other guy in the ring, but it was like he starts going on about whatever, and he says something to Copeland about his bug eyes, and Copeland responds with, "Oh, he didn't bring his style over from the other place," and he's like, "Yeah, you just jacked your style off the Rock." They have that back and forth. But Copeland's response at the end of that, him just being like, "Ah, dude, like talk to him," like he just buries him because he's trying to be too much himself. I guess it's Ricky Starks is another guy. I'm dying to see him get like just a little bit of guiding, a little bit of molding, like just something.
You're waiting. I'm 100% because he's biffles with Cody, so we're waiting for that to his contract to end for him to be in WWE.
Yeah, he's definitely
a good fit. Look at Ethan Page. Ethan Page is a prime example of this. He was doing nothing in AEW. He was lost in the shuffle, and he's been great forever.
Yeah,
Like he was fantastic as part of the North. I was bummed out when he moved over to AEW just to be put in another tag team that did nothing.
Oh my god!
Right?
Him and Scorpio did nothing.
Where's he? Where's Scorpio?
Oh yeah, he's still around.
He's with the Sandworms and Beetlejuice. Like,
Yeah.
nothing.
Kills me. It kills me. Like I've said this before. The roster's over bloated to this point. There's too many people to push, and I feel like WWE is getting that same problem.
Yeah.
Because like, what do you do with somebody? Because like the next thing I wanted to talk about, because you mentioned it before, I didn't even get the I didn't even put together the connection with Uncle Howdy and the Miz.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, good, because like Miz is like the perfect guy for carrying to do something with, and since it doesn't seem like they have like a huge plan for Bo Dallas and everybody, like the Wyatt Sicks, again, the Miz is like the perfect guy because he's a name. He can carry all the like the sports entertainment crap you need for everybody else to do stuff.
He's already had the issues with Wyatt, like the Abigail. No, what's her face? Doll was in the crib.
Oh, Abby, right?
Yeah, Abby was in the crib, and obviously Bo Dallas was in the B team in the Miztourage. There's so much there, but like, is that enough to carry the Wyatt family? I don't know. Would it be fun to have that callback? Does that do anything for anybody?
It's interesting because like it's like a callback that we didn't expect versus like the Orton Rhodes callback that we were expecting for months now. Like sometimes you're like, oh man, like I should have realized that would have been a logical feud for him because he was subservient to the Miz for how many years, and like that would make sense. Like he knows that this guy takes advantage of people, but like we didn't think about that. But we were talking about all these other things. Like there's probably a lot of built in that now that like more Bo Dallas storylines because he was a jobber forever. So there's probably a lot of people that he could come back to.
And it makes sense too because like they're trying to reestablish him, right? So what do? You're like they're essentially building him from the ground up. Like they're bringing him in like he's a brand new person. Mm-hmm. So like okay, you also had I was going to say American Alpha, then I was going to call them the American males.
Oh, yeah. American male alpha models.
MXM.
Yeah. Dude, I do. Please bring back MXM. I fucking love those guys. American Made, right? Like it was a weird thing to have them lose, even though they're debuting as a team. But like they didn't need the win. Mm. So I get it that they go to put them over. Okay, let's move them on to the Miz and let's give the Wyatt Sicks another win. That's great, and it's great for them. But I'm also like, but Miz is the perfect guy for carrying to do something on TV with. Like all this stuff that he's doing now, I'm like, no, good. This is the shit he should have been doing the whole time.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting.
The devil, the corruption, they're doing something like.
Yeah, he's the devil on his shoulder.
And I'm just waiting at some point for them to just like pull the trigger and like they really like pan out to be like, oh, this is all the stuff Carrion's done. Right? Like they really do run back the like, okay, we put the the clock in front of Roman and then his empire crumbled. All the stuff with Seth, all the stuff with Shinsuke, the New Day.
Yeah. Like yes.
And then you pay it off. Like then he wins something, right? Like I don't know what that something is, but like they're gonna be on Netflix, right? And I'm almost positive they're gonna need new content, right? Give them some kind of like, I don't know, Extreme Rules title or something, or do something close to like GCW's Bloodsport. Give him that.
Or what the hardcore 24 should have been.
Yeah, right. Like give him that, give him something. Like you pay all this off and now he's got his precious, right? He's got his one ring, he's got his Infinity Gauntlet. Like give him something.
Fair enough. Ed, what's your last shot here? As SmackDown's rolling on. I know we got to catch up on it.
Say it louder for the kids in the back.
It fucking sucks. Wash your coat.
Is that your last, or you got any other?
Now we're good.
That's his. Ed, we love you.
Ed,
love you too.
Love to your bride.
Done and done.
Cheers, Ed. Pleasure as always. You, sir, are cut off. Bring it back because of time constraints. We're doing it anyway. We're going to send him off with an outro. Instead of an intro, he gets an outro. Darby's in his head. So, it's been a fun one.
It's been a
We
thing.
are rolling into 15 minutes
so
into
far
SmackDown.
into. Get your snacks, take your dogs out, take yourself out. Buckle up, kids. It's SmackDown time.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. We don't know. We haven't seen if Roman came out first. Roman's supposed to talk.
You tell us.
KO
tell
is
us
supposed to
some
talk.
more.
A lot's supposed to go on. But we will be back next Friday at 6. As always, recapping everything that goes on. We love having you. If you're new here, thanks for coming in. Hit the old like. Hit the subscribe. If you're a regular, we love having you back. Hit the like as well. You don't have to subscribe because you probably already have. If you haven't, you should. And it's wrong. But
Do it.
we'll take you out the only way we know how.
Only way we know how.
They're not so CCO. Paul, Triple H Levesque.
Thought we had a spectacular event tonight. Very excited that so far everybody seems to have come out unscathed. You know, banged up, bumps and bruises, but nobody seriously injured, which I always hold my breath on these events. You want to see people have the best outing that they can possibly have and make memories, but do it safely. And we were able to do that tonight.
We were able to do that tonight. And
Mhm.
it's probably like 4 or 5 weeks without incident. So very proud of that. We're putting a sign up on the wall. So until next time, enjoy SmackDown. We will see you next Friday at 6. You do not have to go home.
But you can't stay here. Bye.